Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to talk about Palestine and Israel today. And I'm quite saddened by what's been happening over in the Middle East. And as you can see from this title, Israel continues to bomb Gaza after airstrikes kill 9 Palestinian children. So you may or may not know that there is clashes going on in Israel at the moment. And what some human rights groups are saying is, it's a huge breach of human rights for the Palestinians. They're calling it apartheid. So why has this all been happening? Well, over the years, Israelis have been accused of taking land from the Palestinians, and this map will show you a better view of what's been happening over the years. So, as you can see, in 1947, all of this area used to belong to Palestine. And then obviously after the Jews were persecuted by the Nazis, they were given their own land to share with the Palestinians, and this was given by the West, which they had no right to, by the way. They don't own Palestine, but it's one of the colonial Western colonial powers. So they separated Palestine with Israel, and during 1949 to 1967, obviously there was a few wars fought in the Middle East. The final area that was given to Palestinian compared to Israel was this. It was split between the Gaza Strip and the actual Palestine. And you can see from this map here, Palestine were given the rough end of the stick. You can see Israel has been given a much bigger map. Israel's been given access to the sea. So Israel been given a lot more than what Palestinian had, and you can see present day today what Palestinians have got compared to Israel. So over the years, Israel have been building illegal settlements all over Palestinian areas, and this is what Palestinians have at the moment compared to what was given. And what has the West done? They've completely ignored Israel, ignored Palestinians. And till to this day, Israel have still been taking Palestinian land. So why have they been fighting right now? So you can see authorities would be empowered to evict dozens of Palestinians from Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood, just outside the old city, and give their homes to Jewish settlers. So as you can see, Israel has still been trying to take the land from the Palestinians. They've been giving Palestinians next to no notice and replaced them with Israeli settlers. And you can see from the violent images here what's going on. There's mosques been attacked. The holy mosque of Al-Aqsa has been attacked. It's in flames. Palestinians are being killed. I think there's estimates of about 200 people being killed. They've got no access to medicine. And the Palestinians are fighting with stones, and Israelis have got weapons, and they're using airstrikes. They're using weapons. It's absolutely ridiculous, and this is actual breach of human rights, and the evidence is here. And I would call this genocide. Throughout the years, hundreds and thousands of Palestinians have died in Palestine, whether it's airstrikes or being killed by the Israeli army, or whether it's malnutrition or hunger, whether it's lack of medicine, lack of they are just literally being repressed. They have got no rights, these Palestinians. And you can see from this image here that there's a fire being broken out in Al-Aqsa Mosque, and Al-Aqsa Mosque is Palestinians' most holy site, and a lot of Palestinians go there to pray during Ramadan, and it is the month of Ramadan as well, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So I want to go back to this article, and this was based on an interview with Republican Rashida Tlaib, and she's the only Palestinian American lawmaker who's actually spoken up about this. But obviously it's mainly because she's Palestinian. But you know. But what she says does make a lot of sense. She says it has to be on the table. And look, by not conditioning and having what we call unconditional funding to an apartheid state, one has been practicing ethnic cleansing and so much more. We are becoming hypocrites, and by saying that we don't support the value of human dignity, we don't support international human rights. So what she's saying is Israel is becoming an apartheid state, and apartheid is a word which involves repression, which involves ethnic cleansing. It happened in South Africa years ago, and obviously stopped now, where the whites were repressing all the black people there, and it's happening here in Palestine, and it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking that the rest of the West and Western governments are saying nothing about this. Absolutely shocking. And look at the area the Palestinians have compared to what they had before. This is what you call genocide. This is what you call here. See this. The Israeli government doesn't want Palestinians to exist. It wants to expel them all. So you can see what actual genocide is, and it's sad what's happening at the moment. And what are the West saying right now? And I'll show you what Mr. Pompeo is saying. America must stand with our ally Israel. Please join our family in praying for the people of Israel. Where's Palestine? Where's people of Palestine that are being killed? Where's all the kids and families that are being killed or taken out of their homes, taking their land? You know, this is actual genocide. This is, and what are the human rights government saying now? I mean, what's President of America saying? What's what's the UK saying? What's European Parliament saying? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Completely quiet. You know, and when it comes to Xinjiang, you know, they're up in arms saying, oh, China's creating genocide, China's killing all the Uyghur Muslims. Have you ever seen China bomb an Uyghur Muslim? Have you ever seen this kind of evidence of violence going on? Let me show you. Have you seen this kind of evidence of violence? Have you seen this happening in Xinjiang? Have you seen, you know, people being killed? Is any evidence of any genocide going on in Xinjiang? No, there's no evidence. But the evidence is here for the world to see what Israel is doing to Palestine. And what are the West saying about it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I think there was an article here about Blinken as well. Even Blinken says rocket attacks on Israel must stop immediately. What about the bombings in Palestine? What about the bombings in Palestine? Airstrikes in Palestine? You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And here they are. This is the Al-Aqsa raid. Al-Aqsa is holy mosque in Palestine. And as you know, it's the holy month of Ramadan as well. So it's a huge time for Israeli forces to kind of. It's a huge bad time for, you know, Israeli forces to be attacking a mosque during Ramadan, because, you know, Palestinians are, you know, fasting and doing Ramadan, and you know, mosques are just, this is their holy site, and you know, people are being injured, people are being killed inside the mosques. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's shocking. And what's more shocking is it's just the West not saying anything. It's completely silent. All these human rights activists in the European Parliament who are quick to say genocide, quick to put sanctions on China. So where are they now? Where are the sanctions on Israel? Where are the European Parliament speaking up about human rights in Israel? Where are the American? Where are the British? You know, where are they? What are they saying? What are they doing? Nothing. They're going to do nothing. This is actual human rights happening at the moment. This is actual genocide. And what are what's the West doing about it? Absolutely nothing. And I'm completely pissed off about this. There needs to be sanctions on Israel, and this shows complete hypocrisy of the West. Completely ignoring what Israel has been doing all these years. And while they pretend to be human rights activists and human rights very important to them, is complete hypocrisy. And they only use the human rights words when it suits them. So when it comes to Xinjiang, when it comes to China, it's human rights abuses, blah blah blah. But when it comes to their own Israel doing this, now they'll be completely silent. And America is always going to support Israel. Always, it's never ever going to go against Israel, even when it comes to human rights. They only say human rights when he comes to them, and when it comes to Xinjiang and China, they use the worst words like genocide. Where is the evidence of genocide in Xinjiang? Where? There is no evidence of genocide. Nobody's being killed. There's no evidence of Uyghur Muslims being in concentration camps, but the evidence is here in Israel. Israel is keeping hundreds of thousands of Palestinians in Israeli jails over the years. They've kept under the guise of terrorists. They've been keeping so many in jail, and that's why the population of Israel has been going down and down and down. And pretty much the way things are now, the Palestinian population will go down to zero. Absolutely zero. Looking at this map, look at what Palestinians were then, and look at how many Palestinians are now. With Palestinians being in jail, with Palestinians being killed by airstrikes every year on year, with Palestinians dying of hunger, malnutrition, with Palestinians dying of disease. It's a lack of. Palestinians don't have a state at the moment. They can't make their own food. They don't have an economy. They are dying year by year, and this is what's happening under the noses of the West, and the West are completely ignoring it. While they are quick to jump on the Xinjiang bandwagon when it comes to China, but when it comes to this, no, it's, they'll just stay completely silent. It's just a hypocrisy of the West, absolutely hypocrites. But a lot of them, every single one. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say for today. Let me know what your thoughts are. Please like and subscribe and share, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye.